Adam and his wife went out into the world to live and to work. For a time they were all alone, but after a while God gave them a little child of their own, the first baby that ever came into the world. Eve named him Cain, and after a time another baby came, whom she named Abel. When the two boys grew up, they worked as their father worked before them. Cain chose to work in the fields and to raise grain and fruits, and Abel had a flock of sheep and became a shepherd. While Adam and Eve were living in the Garden of Eden, they could talk with God and hear God's voice speaking to them. But now that they were out in the world, they could no longer talk with God as freely as before. So when they came to God, they had built an altar of stone heaped up, and upon it laid something as a gift to God, and burned it to show that it was not their own, but was given to God, whom they could not see. Then before the altar they made their prayer to God and asked God to forgive their sins and all that they had done that was wrong, and prayed God to bless them and do good to them. Each of these brothers, Cain and Abel, offered upon the altar to God his own gift. Abel brought a sheep from his flock and killed it and burned it upon the altar, and Cain brought the fruits and the grain which he had grown. God was pleased with Abel and his offering, but was not pleased with Cain and his offering. Cain's heart was not right when he came before God, and God showed that he was not pleased with Cain. And Cain, instead of being sorry for his sin and asking God to forgive him, was very angry with God, and angry also towards his brother. When they were out in the field together, Cain struck his brother Abel and killed him. So the first baby in the world grew up to be the murderer of his own brother. And the Lord said to Cain, "Where is Abel your brother?" And Cain answered, "I do not know. Why should I take care of my brother?" Then the Lord said to Cain, "What is this that you have done? Your brother's blood is like a voice crying to me from the ground. Do you see how the ground has opened up like a mouth to drink your brother's blood?" God cursed Cain for murdering his brother. He would wander the earth and never find a home, because of the wicked deed he committed. And Cain pleaded with the Lord to consider how men would treat an outcast like him. They would avoid, abuse, or even kill him, and no one would want to be his friend. And God told Cain that if anyone would harm him, that they would be punished sevenfold. And the Lord God placed a mark on Cain, so that whoever met him should know him, and should know also that God had forbidden any man to harm him. Then Cain traveled eastward from Eden and settled in the land of Nod, away from the presence of the Lord. In Nod, his wife conceived and bore Enoch. After Adam and Eve learned what happened to their son Abel, they were saddened by his death, and God blessed them with another son. They named him Seth, and it is through him that Adam's descendants continued to Noah.